Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me on tonight. This is as a below, so below. This talking about sun energy, which is ruled by Leo. Teaching every one of you guys. If this is your first time in my live, my name is Chief Apostle Samuel Jr. I am the apostle and pastor of Apostolic Faith of Jesus Christ Incorporated. My beliefs are deeply rooted in the ATRs. The ATRs are the African traditional religions by which we harness, disperse, and dispatch energy, frequency, and vibration. I had a long day. I've been at the cemetery, in church, and all that. So, one of the things that on my platform, I'm usually geared to melanated people, and those are black people, especially black Americans that want to understand energy, frequency, and vibration, which is magic, which is conjure, and it's something that is innate to us, and it's very I had to unplug my phone. It is an ability for people to learn what real conjuring. I want to say to each and every one, whether you are a beginner, intermediate, or advanced, if you ever followed me, you know that I have a YouTube channel, and so therefore, if you have not joined my YouTube channel, but I want to speak on some things, and I'm coming from a place that I've been doing magic all my life since I was a child. My mom says 3 to 4 years old. I've been doing conjure that long. I have been initiated in various of traditions. I'm 52 years of age, and so therefore, when it comes down to my experience and learning and knowing how magic really works, and why I personally teach universal laws, and because universal laws apply to each and every one of you. And I'm going to say some things for educational purposes only. When it comes down to real conjure, real mysticism, and real magic. And the reason why my live, because those that understand sun energy and understand where the solar plexus is, the solar plexus is your personal power. And it is the energy, it is the force that you exert your will, and you imprint based off your element. I'm a Sagittarius, Moon in Aries, and rising high Pisces. And so therefore my solar energy is Jupiter. And so the reason why I'm talking about repositioning black women, hear me well, when it comes down to conjure and magic and society at large. And this is what I want you to understand when it comes down to real magic. In order to practice real magic, you have to stick to the facts. The facts is that the black woman is the only organism on planet Earth that has the mitochondrial DNA, which means that she can manifest any type of species. The same is true when it comes down to magic. Magic is melanin. Magic is dark matter. Magic is the building block of life. If you don't center dark matter or melanin, then you cannot perform magic. Let me explain something to y'all. This is for educational purposes only. What I'm trying to explain to a lot of people, if you want peace on earth, and since we know based off of facts that the black woman is the originator of all magic, all religions, all sciences, this is not my opinion, this is not debatable, this is factual, this is what I need you to understand. In order for the black woman to be at the bottom of the totem pole, that means, sir and ma'am, every woman that is non-black, whether Indian woman, Mexican woman, Brazilian woman, had to comply to the degradation of the black woman. In order for magic to be restored at the center, then a black woman should not fight for her position. Other women, because they understand DNA and science and the facts that prove that this particular type of woman is the mother of all species. You could not be a Jamaican woman without a black woman. You couldn't be a Puerto Rican woman, an Indian woman, a white woman without the black woman. She is the mother of all creation. That's the Eve gene. And so therefore, if you want to bring balance to nature and the cosmos and even our everyday material life, then this woman should not have to fight for her position, but other women, because they understand the facts involved, not leaning to patriarchal ideas. Let me explain something to you. Everybody has to comply and make this woman struggle to prove her worth, her value, and her energy. She has to outdo you 3-4 times to prove her excellence. Whether it's her beauty, whether it is her intelligence. This is why we love the movie Hidden Figures. This is what I want to tell y'all. You cannot practice any form of natural magic. You cannot work any form of moon magic. You cannot work any form of sun magic without acknowledging her. Every traditional conjure or hoodoo or cauldrons or ngangas are in a representation of the womb of the black woman. If you see anybody that's claiming to be a witch and has a cauldron, that is a similitude to the black woman. And the reason why the cauldrons are iron is representative of her blood or her menstrual cycle. Anybody that does real conjure will tell you, certain ma'am, that is where the replication has come from. And therefore, in order to gain balance in the universe, the balance in our own lives and the balance of, we have to reposition her in a position without struggle. When you say you're not here to fight Mother Nature, when you're saying that you're going to flow with the universe, when you say you want to flow with nature, that is natural. I'm going to say this again. This is not my idea. This is not my opinion. These are facts. This can be proven through science. This can be proven through archaeology. This can be proven through just history of where the black woman sat originally. This is why there was great effort in painting or overpainting on certain things that black women were in leadership and being oracles. This is really important. This is not about you being something you're not. This is not about putting yourself down. This is about placing things in divine order. And every woman has to comply. I'm going to say this again. Your cycle comes from her cycle. Your Ache, your chi, comes from her. Every man that works any form of magic has to acknowledge the feminine energy. And I'm a natural born seer. I'm a natural born necromancer. But without feminine energy, I could not discern. I would not have the wisdom that I have, because wisdom is a feminine energy. I'm going to say this again. In order to develop, and when you have other women that understand real magic, real conjure, this is not about, how should I say? There's a, the ecosystem. This is all science. Everybody and everything is based on the food chain. And anybody that studies organ energy, anybody that studies feminine energy, anybody that studies masculine energy that does real magic understands that they cannot birth anything magically with masculine energy. They have to use a female plant in order to birth or give life to a working. Males cannot. Male aspects can direct energy, frequency, and vibration, but it cannot birth. And when you're talking about food chain, when you're talking about the hierarchy of divine energy at its purest state, we have to go back to the origination of this female deity. And who was she? She was a melanated woman. All medicine comes from her. All balance comes. This is why when you deal with a woman scientifically and her hormones are off kilter or they're not balanced, then she is not functioning at her optimum function. That is true when you set people in positions and put people in places that they don't belong. You cannot carry the arche, the energy of a melanated woman. She harnesses. I don't know if y'all seen Superman, but he had a cousin, a female cousin named Kara. And in one of the episodes, Batman was telling Superman that Kara was able to harness the sun more efficiently in her body than his, even though he had a masculine body. But her body was designed to process light energy or sun energy. That is the same thing that is true for a melanated woman. Because of her melanin, she's able to take the sunlight and enter her electric magnetic energy and produce life, give power, give imagination, give creation. Now, I want to say this for educational purpose only. A lot of people already know this. What I am saying to you, certain ma'am, that she should not have to fight, argue, or debate about her positioning. I'm going to say this again. Just like a lion does not have to argue that he is the king of the jungle, the rhinoceros knows that, even though the rhinoceros defends himself against the lion. Also, thank you for the gift. Let me explain this, y'all. How can any of us in any ATR, whether it's hoodoo, obeah, conjure, mysticism, I'm a powerful man. My powers come from my mother's DNA. My gift comes from my mother's DNA. I have some genes from my father and my mother, but my bloodline magic comes from my mother. And I'm connected through matriarch through my mother and my grandmother, kind of like Timothy in the Bible. My point is, and this is why a lot of black women cannot focus on their development, is because they feel like they have to constantly fight for their beauty standards. They have to constantly fight for their acknowledgement of their contribution. And other women make this difficult. And this doesn't have to be a difficult situation. The matriarch, the matrix can be shattered basically overnight. I'm gonna say this again. Black women should not be out here, as much as we say that we are knowledgeable, how magic really works, that they should not having to fight for their position. They should be like any other queen. They should be led to their front seat. Like the Bible says that there's a particular scripture that talks about do not exalt yourself, or self-exaltation, that you are beckoned to the front. Other women of nationality that know, that practice ATRs, that understand that they're bowing down. And this is what they get me in the tradition. And I'm deep in black magic. So please don't come here with that. I'm deep in it. So I watch other races of ethnic women have black dolls, black Madonnas, claim to be serving Ezeli, Dontor, Ezeli Frida, Dambala, claiming to be serving Oshun, claiming to be serving Oya, claiming to be serving Yemiya, and they know these are black African deities. They are 100% sure that these are African deities. So my point is, why would you paint their image with another pigment? If you're going to call on the power of the Holy Ghost, which is the Shekinah glory, mind you, which is feminine energy, which is the same spirit that sat upon Yahshua, the Holy Ghost that was allowing Yahshua to work all signs, wonders, and miracles, restore the blind eye, restore the lame, that was feminine power being directed by masculine energy. I'm going to say this again. If you are in the ATRs in any form of fashion, and you're practicing root work, obeah work, conjure, mysticism, Kabbalah, all these are African energy, frequency, and vibration. CERN, ma'am. That means you're acknowledging where your source is coming from. So a black woman like Christ is the physical manifestation of the universe. It's the physical manifestation of the earth. Tiamat, Gaia, call her whatever you will. There's no way you can get around, because we know that melanin and that pigmentation in her design connects with the earth naturally. Natural medicine women, natural shaman, natural yamis, just natural. She doesn't have to put any effort, especially at Virgo. Virgos are the mothers of the earth. A earth sign, whether it's Taurus or whether it's Capricorn, they connect, they connect more so. Doesn't mean other women don't connect. I don't know who this is. I got to keep my thought point. Let me explain something. Does this mean that every woman is on the hierarchy? No, doesn't mean that. Everybody has a gift, a measure, all that. All that's the same. What I am saying, if you are going to practice, I'm a child of Oya, but I'm also a child of Oshun, crown. I'm also crowned Babalu Aye. Thank you so much for the Demetrius, for the Panther Claw. If you don't exalt the black woman, then who are you exalting in Oshun? Who are you exalting in El Obatala? Who are you exalting when you call on the sun, the moon, Jupiter, because these were turned into male deity. Originally, the solar system were all females. They were called the seven sisters. Sun, Sun, Moon, Moon, Mercury, Mercury, Mars, Mars, Venus, Venus, Jupiter, Jupiter, Saturn, Saturn. They were called the seven sisters originally. Then patriarchy came along and they started renaming astrology. They started renaming the Sephirah in Kabbalah. If we're going to educate and we're going to live in the age of Aquarius, which is technology, and which means that we're going to receive knowledge, wisdom, and understanding a lot more faster and more rampant. Because Aquarius is air element. It's futuristic. It's looking to the future. This is, if you're a Christian, just hear me out. If heaven is styled as a woman, if the church is styled as a woman, if hell is styled as a woman, if the earth is styled as a woman, whether you're dealing with the Quran, whether you're dealing with the Maccabees, whether you're dealing with the Emerald tablets, transformational energy is feminine energy. You cannot turn light into darkness without feminine energy. A black woman is the deity of creation. If you understand our similitude, this is why we represent the Ankh. It is not separate and apart. Feminine energy is not separate and apart. You have the feminine energy, you have the masculine energy, and you have what is called the child. It's what the feminine energy and the masculine energy birth into this physical realm. When men and women understand, because men can have feminine energy like I do, I'm very androgynous. But like I'm gonna keep it so 100. Even when I was getting crowned, I only have one male spirit. When I got crowned, my Fidi Pum Oya, my padrino, both of my godfathers took me in the cemetery. I have 8 female spirits and 1 male. And my head spirit is female. When I got scratched into Apollo, I was the only one that had a female spirit. But I was the only one that's more powerful than everybody sitting there. Because feminine energy is the power of creation and destruction. I'm going to say this again. Feminine energy not only gives life, but it can take life. Everything has a scientific reason for its manifestation. And all I'm saying to all of my brothers and sisters in Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lakumi, and the church, you can't preach against women when the church itself is styled as a woman. You can't preach against women practicing conjure when your majority of your tools represent her feminine part. I have 5 Ngangas, cauldrons. Those pots represent the vagina, not the penis, the phallus. I direct that energy. I direct that power. Even though the gods may be male, but the world was created by a woman. Every time I got initiated, I don't have a problem telling the truth. I live in peace. I live in tranquility. And every time I got any form of ceremony, a woman had to be present. If you talk to any Tata, if they talk to anybody that is got a grain of integrity in their soul, in their bones, predominantly my success is owed to black women. My spiritual success as well as my physical success. The wisdom, the things, the people that sat out and talked to me are predominantly women. That's why I'm so smart. That's why I'm so clever. That's why I'm so cunning. That's why I'm so crafty. That's why I'm so creative. That's why most people come into my house and say, "You decorated your house? You put them colors together?" Absolutely. When you embrace your creative force, you can make $1 out of 15 cents. When Yahshua was there and he asked the lad for his 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread, that was feminine power that multiplied. If you want multiplication, you want increase, you want God to add to your life, you want a blessing that overtakes, you have to honor and respect feminine energy. The reason why a lot of women are having problems in the ATR because most women attack other women. I'm going to say this again. Most of the cleansing that takes place by me is because another woman, for various of reasons, attack another melanated woman. Not a man. All because a lack of respect for position. You wouldn't have to fight against black women as hard as you do. You wouldn't have to set booby traps for black women if you would put them in their rightful place. When you are in your kitchen and you put things where they're supposed to be, there's order. My mom's a Virgo. When you put things where they are supposed to be, and my mom used to say all this time to me, she said, when you get something from a spot, then when you finish with it, put it back where it belongs. If you're going to use black women, black conjure, then put them back where you found them. And you did not find them at the bottom. You found them at the top. You found them at the pinnacle. All I'm saying, this is not a hard fix. It's just you acknowledging the truth and facts involved. This is not you going around and saying, "Oh, you belong at the top because you black." No, you got to be qualified. You got to develop who you are, and that your gift make room for you. No, this is about other people practicing ATRs with the Orishas and Loas and Nkisi with full knowledge that they are going to black deities or black spirits or black Madonnas. We all know who do deep magic like I do, that in order to gain that kind of power, you got to go into darkness. You got to go into the womb. That's where the real source of life is. The raw essence of magic. And after you come out of that, some of us call it the dark night of the soul. We got a lot of labels for that womb. Some people call it nexus. Some people call it the abyss. But that is the womb. And in the womb is manifestation, life. Life and death This is why women are at the brink of life and death when they're birthing children. Because their womb, their body, or their temple, or their portal is open. And life or death can come. That's the only way a spirit can come into this physical world. She has to open up her chambers in order for... I remember my spiritual dad telling me this. I was like 13 years old. And I was really upset with my mom. And I was talking to him about the situation. And the people in my life use a lot of profanity. So I'm a cleaner because we're on TikTok. And I'm just giving this for educational purpose only. And he told me this. He said, boy, when your mama allowed you to come, he said mama, he said your mammy allowed you to come to the work, to this earth, to do the work that God has called you for, she did all she needed to do. If she don't do nothing else for you, she allowed you to come to this earth. I didn't understand the concept. A woman has to open her chambers. And what I need y'all to hear me when I say this and understand where I'm coming from. Black women birth men and women that create stuff that better our lives. Black women's children are the reason why we have the access to so much comfort in this earth. They're not birthing rapists. They're not birthing murderers. They're not birthing snipers. They're either birthing some type of root worker, some type of artist, some type of musician, something creative, something that has a gift and a talent that is usable not only for the individual but also humanity. A parasite or parasitic person is only going to birth parasitic beings. And they have to live off the host. So if you want to understand where I'm coming from, and you understand the food chain, when you reposition this woman as the center, it's just like when you reposition your chakra and you align your chakra, all your energy flow. Magic is going to flow smoothly and effectively once this woman is placed and reposition in her position without a fight from other women that are trying to reign in her stead. I'm going to say this again. The reason why Snow White was locked away in the story because she was the rightful heir to the throne. When you have to be consciously deceptive and undermining other women, it is because you already know who is rightfully the ruler or the magic that is superior. Let me say this scientifically, only for educational purposes only. You cannot be the superior energy simply because your DNA doesn't allow you. And what I mean by this, certain man, you are not a dominant gene. Your structure is not built to dominate. This is why a black woman through alchemy can be with any type of man and still produce a black child of all shades and colors. A black man can be with any virtue of a woman and still produce. That's alchemy. That's because the genes themselves are dominant. You cannot be the superior organism when you cannot harness what is natural. What is natural burns you. When the sun is your enemy, you cannot be natural to this earth. What makes us natural? We have this old saying, we say, what comes first? The chicken or the egg? The egg. These are facts, these are not my opinion. If you study any ancient magic, you see an egg with a snake around it. Which means that the egg represents the woman and the snake represents the man, which is the sperm. And notice that the snake is protecting the egg. So men are the protectors of feminine energy. When a man does not know who he is, he will fight against feminine energy. He will cause feminine energy in his book to submit. But any man with power understand that feminine energy was never meant to submit. It was meant to function. As long as a woman is functioning and operating in her energy, she is yielding to the universe. A woman does not have to devalue herself in order for you to feel a certain type of way. That's called insecurity. This is for educators. You ain't got it like this. It's just the truth. If you don't understand, I'm going to take that back. I know you understand. I know you are very clear about what I'm saying. And you always known the truth. This is why black women have to stop trying to convince people why they should be honored and given humanity and sovereignty. You can't teach somebody that already knows. That's why they behave like they behave. This is why you can just walk in the room and have to do absolutely nothing. Say absolutely nothing, and there's a problem. Rhythm comes naturally to you as a black melanated woman. And you need rhythm for vibration. The energy and frequency and vibration is the sounding language of the universe. Her hips are like the tamarines in the church. When you find somebody that can really beat a tamarine, that is the hips of a black woman gyrating. And if that ain't something sexy, huh? All I'm telling you, any form of magic that you're practicing, whether you're working with herbs, it's coming from that energy, that frequency. This is not, because I also, to be honest with you, I also don't believe that every black man is a king. Only in our society, we got all chiefs and no Indians. Only in our society that we got all queens and no princesses, no duchesses. There's different levels to all of this. And it all supports and this is why I tell y'all, if you're going to deal with science and deal with real magic, you have to respect matriarch and its hierarchy. Let me explain. In the animal kingdom, it is natural for the female lion to go and hunt. She is not less than a woman, to all my Leos. It is not unnatural for a lioness to go and hunt and to fight and to defend. It is natural. She is not depicted as savage, masculine, too manlike. She is operating naturally in her energy. When a man does not have the capacity and capability of outranking a woman in her own authority, he immediately does what other fragile. He copies the playbook of the fragiles and begins to what? Disarm her confidence and makes her feel like she's operating out of an unnatural energy. Every woman's menstrual blood is not powerful. It has energy, it has frequency, but every woman's womb does not carry that level of power. But there are some women out there that in their belly is flowing the rivers of living water. And it don't matter what she doing, hoodoo, voodoo, or something, she is a force of nature. When we talk about, when Mother Nature's upset, when Mother Nature is showing her power, everybody get low. So that lets us all know that we understand. But is every woman in that place? No, they don't. But who is at the top of the chain is the black woman. All I'm telling my sisters in Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lukumi, Congo, Palo, stop fighting black women for what is rightfully theirs, inheritance. And that's when you're going to come in alignment with where God has for you. When you're trying to be in somebody else's lane, you're trying to sit in somebody else's seat, it will never be comfortable. You will be like the Goldilocks with 3 bears. You will be uncomfortable. You will be living, you will be enjoying, you will be eating off of her tree, but you will never feel comfortable because it don't belong to you. Jacob had Esau's blessing, but he was not comfortable. When you constantly are having trouble with the seat you're trying to sit in, it means it doesn't belong to you. Status of beauty belongs to the goddess, the deity, the Isis. The standard of beauty belongs to the Yoruba goddess, Oshun, Oba, Yemiya, La Serene, Mommy Water, Mama Chola. These are the representation of the essence of black women. All I'm saying, if you think about it, when things get in order, not where you want to set them. I got a lot of whippings from my mother. She a Virgo. By not putting things back where they were set up. A lot of us in life messing with things that belong to African sources, and we are not putting those things back where they belong. If you would literally, as a practitioner of any of the ATRs, if you can exalt Oshun, if you can exalt Oya, if you can exalt, so that there's also a female aspect of Obatala. If you can exalt all these deities, then you can also exalt the replication of the image of what they represent here on earth. That's all I'm saying. If you can beat your chest to Shango, then I know you understand. I shouldn't have to fight for my right. They said the meek shall inherit the earth. Meek don't mean weak. I shouldn't have to fight what is natural to me. Like magic has always been natural to me. my gifts, my talent, all of that is within me. I'm 52 years old. But even as a child, magic and conjure, working with the dead has always been natural. The moment you're trying to force things, it's your admittance. It's not natural what you're doing. It's not natural what you're saying. If black women would understand that the reason why beauty standards were rewritten was to reposition somebody else at the top of the food chain. It's not natural. It is not natural for a Caucasian woman to be at the top. It just ain't natural. It's not natural for a white man to be at the top. It's not natural. When you look at a mountain, when you look up, you're looking for a mountain peak. You're not looking for the valley low, because you're looking up at the mountain. So you're looking for the peak of the mountain. When you make good evil and evil good, when you make right wrong and wrong right, when you make up down and down up, that means you reverse. This is why the scripture said the last shall be first and the first shall be last. Because in order for things to get in proper balance, ladies, when you have proper balance in your pH, you have less to no sickness. When your pH is off, you are more susceptible to infections and sickness. As long as we keep black women out of their position, we're going to have infections. We're going to have parasites. We're going to have trauma. We're going to have instances of destruction. When we got pH balance, that means we're alkaline. And anybody that does holistic work knows that when you are at an alkaline state and you're not acidic, viruses, sickness cannot abide in your body. All I'm saying, we need to get our pH right. We got to get a hormonal balance. And the only way to get that is to get the right menstrual cycle in position. So everybody's menstrual cycle can be on clock, because her uterus, her organs are in sync with the moon. And when she's repositioned, everybody's cycle gets on cue. It's natural for a black woman to be in sync with the universe and in sync with everything of creation. And once she's placed back in her position, everything comes online. While y'all here trying to take herbs and vitamins and trying to get your third eye open, get her back in position and stop fighting her. Let that woman walk and sit on her throne. Just that simple. And we can have peace again. As long as she's out of balance, there's going to be infection in the body. There's going to be infection in the earth. There's going to be people hindered from their destinies. You're not more powerful than a melanated man or woman. It's not scientifically possible. You may know more because you have a jump start, but once I start learning, that's why I excel so big and fast in DATRs, because I'm naturally melanated. Revelation comes to me naturally. Insight comes to me naturally. Protection comes to me naturally. Magic, conjure, spirit come to me naturally. I don't have to go out there and do anything long drawn, because it comes to me naturally. I'm melanated on both sides of my family. I'm here to encourage you If you truly, I know y'all don't like to hear this, but you're not putting yourself down for another woman. I'm going to say this again. To all of my brothers and sisters in Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lakumi, Congo, Palo, Mystic, and any form of ATR, you're not putting yourself down by allowing her to take her rightful place. You have not outshined her in the beginning, and you will not outshine her in the end. She was meant to win. And she's going to come through. All I'm saying, don't become her enemy. Don't have it recorded in heaven and earth and under the earth that you were opposition to her ascension. That's all I'm saying. Because once she fully awakens, melanin has memory. Once her eyes are clear, once her head is out the fog, you're going to be in trouble. This is what Beyonce was trying to tell you. Your bullets won't do you no good. Her magnetic pull alone will going to bring you to your knees. Her thoughts. I have a powerful African goddess in my head. Well, quite a few of them, but I'm telling you, I'm a problem solver. I'm not a problem maker. If you want to resolve a lot of issues and why we having the issues that we're having even in the ATRs, is because you are refusing her seat to her. And you're going to make her war for her rightful, natural position in the cosmos. That is not wise. You're never going to be at the top of the food chain at no time. You're only holding, let me tell you about, just to give you a better context of what I'm saying. The Lady of the Lake held Excalibur. She was never the owner of Excalibur. Because you're holding a seat for somebody does not make that your seat. Because we embedded our traditions in you did not make you the owner or the originator of those traditions. Just because you're holding the spot for me in line is not for you to take my spot. I'm just saying. You can yield up or you can give it up. Either way, she going back to the top. I'm just saying, if you saw the movie of Queen of the Damned, I don't think you would really want to go up against Akasha. Because once she's fully online, you couldn't stop her if you wanted to. And that's why she's called the Queen of Heaven. She's called that for a reason. And that queen does not destroy her men. She doesn't destroy what she creates. So all of the people that claim to be about feminine energy and you're male bashing, that's not true feminine energy. You're just toxic. But we here talking about repositioning the black woman, her melanin. And what you're going to see, harmony and balance and peace restored. Peace means undisturbed, without infection. without inflammation, without indigestion, without headaches, without stress. Balance of life, prosperity flowing, healing flowing. Your body can naturally heal itself. But as long as you keep destroying the representation of the universe, it's like sympathetic magic. As you destroy black women, it's like working a voodoo doll. What you do to her, you're doing to yourself because you come from her. It's impossible for you to work on the mother and not affect the children. And because you came out of her, you're going to be most affected. Any weapon you form against her, you're going to eat it. Listen, facts are facts, truth are truth. These are not my opinions. These are not my suggestions. These are universal laws. These are scientifically proven through archaeology, geography, whatever form of science you want to talk about. Every time you pick up a crystal, you picking something that was birthed out of earth. Our spiritual tools, all of that come from her. Our herbs come from her. You have no power with herbs without Mother Nature. And Osine and these other male spirits tend to her garden. They're her gardeners. But the power is Mother. Osine utilizes. Ochosi utilizes. But where the power is in Mother Earth. Mother got the power. If you want to know where the power is, in Mother. I'm just telling you, I'm not going to be defeated because Mother protects me. And when she covers you with her wings, see, they rewrote that with the book of Psalms, when Psalm 91. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Almighty shall abide under the shadows. We all know that shadows is feminine energy. Darkness is carbon energy, melanin. Feminine energy. In darkness, the Bible said God will give you the treasure of darkness. Nobody can give you a crown but a woman. Feminine energy. That's where your power is. Your direction comes from masculine energy. And your energy source, your purest state, is organ energy, which is stronger than feminine energy. This is all science. It works all together to make a fist. And you can just, let me tell you something. If black women, and y'all gonna say Apostle Ely, Chief Apostle Ely told us it. When black women, I'm talking about, why you worried about rich black women, educated, when that poor black woman realized that all she got to do is connect her womb with the womb of the earth and get her cycle back on track through Mother Earth. And when she come off that ground, because Christ said, if you bear with me, you're going to be raised with me. And when she come out that earth, she going to come up with mother power. And a man that has been molded by a woman is far more dangerous. A man that has been trained by women, that's why when you talk about the tribes of Dahomey in Haitian voodoo and where they worship Damballa, a man that learned conjure from a woman is way more ruthless than an ordinary man. Way more crafty. Way more detailed. And way more consistent. I'm just saying. I urge my Latinos and Cuban and all y'all to go ahead on and wave the white flag and stop trying to gatekeep in their tradition, because she gonna gain power one way or the other. Ain't nothing gonna be do about it. Cause when that time clock hit, she gonna come online. And you ain't gonna be stopping. Cause everybody know that whoever got the strongest vibration and energy dominates the space. And who can harness that type of energy and frequency but a black woman? But a black man. We just everything that the movies that we love, they always writing about us to our face. They always all they do. They the movie Thor. That's Shango. They're transmutations of who we really are. They're devolved copies of our old programs. You shouldn't get hate on somebody that is your older version. You ever had an older program that no longer serves you? Have you ever had a app that had to be updated because you could no longer utilize it? That's all they are. They're transmutations of your older version of yourself. I gotta get it right. So I hope this helped you. I hope that a lot of my Indian people, everybody talking about let me tell you something. Let me say this in the nicest way I can find out. As long as you keeping reparations from black people, I guarantee you stop robbing black people and you'll start getting some of the things you want out of life. If you want your humanity, give black people their humanity. You can't have peace unless the king and queen are at peace. That's all I'm saying. It's like the movie about the vampires. If you kill the original source, you're gonna kill all vampires. If you kill the original source, you're gonna kill all werewolves. You cannot gain the things that you want in this material world if you're gonna continuously to rob the very sources and the people of this material world. America gonna crumble anyway, up under the weight of their own hypocrisy. And we're gonna still live on. We've been living for millions and millions and millions of years. We're gods and goddesses. We constantly incarnate. And we choose the life that we want to live. If I come back here, maybe I'll be a pianist and play the piano and rewrite classical music. I don't know. I'm hoping to go on and live my existence in other realms, but you never know. In my last life, I was a Cancer. Now I'm a Sagittarius. Our energy can't be destroyed. Let me tell y'all something. Encourage you. Stop letting these people make you upset. Let me say it like this. Our histories and who we are written in a place they can never destroy. It is in the fabric of the universe. It is in the DNA of the planet. It is in every living organism. How can you destroy black history when black matter is the reason of all existence? Our thoughts can never be destroyed. Our creations can never be destroyed. I need you to understand that. Stop giving power to people that have no power. They only have power if you believe they have power. But if you understood the power within yourself, you would stop giving permission for people to function in your reality. That's a word right there. You will stop giving permission for people to function in your reality. Just like you take certain herbs and vitamins, when you realize that you have a foreign substance in your body, your job is to allow it to flow out of your system as quickly as possible and to be uncomfortable. And your job is to make sure that you put the right herbs in your body where it is as weak as that it can do less damage as possible. That's your only job. Your job is not to change somebody's mindset. Your job is not to allow that mindset to affect you. That's your job. Your job is not to change somebody else's emotional state. Your job is to understand that your peace is for your walls, not theirs. When people feel like they can disturb your peace and disturb what God has performed in you, I let them know, he that begun a good work in me is faithful and just to fulfill that work. You can't block my roads. All you're going to do, because I'm a Sagittarius, all you're going to do is make my ancestors show up in your eye, and then I'm going to brag more. You're going to hear more about what God is doing in my life every time you attempt to hinder and block me. Because you can't change the truth. That's why I don't speak my opinions. I speak facts. That's why I don't tell people what my personal practices are or how I do what I do, because that's between my gifts and my ability and my capacity. But what I can teach people are universal laws. They apply to each and every one of us. And let me explain something to you. What people that are intimidated by you, they're always going to go for the weakest link. They don't go for the strongest in the pack. They try to attack those that are vulnerable. Do you notice on social media that when certain men or women are attacked, they're only attacking those people they know don't have knowledge? They're not coming for those people that are walking in their truth and those facts. And that is a cowardice man and a cowardice woman. You're looking for somebody that you can make mockery of and hide behind it. But I say to you, my sir and my man, you know who to fool with and you know who not to fool with. And you ain't crazy because you know the truth. There's nobody that's practicing any form of ATR that do not know that they're dealing with black magic. If they're practicing any ATR and they're indulging in any form of ATRs, I want you to know, no matter what their ethnic background is, they understand that the true power that they're summoning and calling upon and trying to channel is black melanated magic, carbon energy. You cannot have an nganga without melanin energy. And when they tell you about cauldrons that are negative, what they're telling you without telling you is that negative energy is feminine energy. And they have to draw that feminine energy. Now they can use feminine energy to be destructive because feminine energy can give life or it can give death. It can build or it can destroy. It is that person that chooses to use that feminine energy that way. But at the end of the day, in order for them to have that kind of power, they have to embrace black magic, melanin magic. So find me a Tata Mumbo and saying that the reason why they got so much light is not because of their darkness. You cannot create darkness, but you can create light. I say it again for all y'all that think you smarter than science. You cannot create darkness because darkness is the creator, but you can create light out of darkness. Call me a lie. If you're not in darkness, you cannot create light. If you don't have consciousness, you cannot create enlightenment. Tell them I'm lying. This is why darkness or black can absorb all light. Because darkness is the womb. And the womb can absorb, it's the black hole. It has the gravitational or magnetic pull to pull light into it. That's why we move at the speed of sound and not the speed of light. People that work light magic can only go so far and can only move so far in the universe. But people that work in darkness can move anywhere in the universe because that's melanin. I'm waiting. Call me a lie. These are facts. Anybody that say they're walking in light has to walk in darkness to walk in light. This is why we have Eshu and Ligwa or Ligba. The darkness is feminine energy. That's why they call it trickster. That's why they call it chaos energy, chaos magic. Unpredictable. Eshu. It's feminine energy. They ain't gonna say that, but that's what it is. If you want to ripen something, a fruit, put it in darkness. How can darkness be evil? When it prepares a fruit that now, because it's been in darkness a period of time, now it's ripened to be eaten. I tell women all the time, you might have a man that is RIGHT for you. He might be right for you. He's just not right. RIPE. That means he's not mature enough to be in a relationship with you. And until you allow a man to develop where he's right, he might be right for you, but he ain't right for you. And you'll have less trouble out of him. He'll be edible at that point. You can digest him at that point. When you try to get a man that has not matured, that's when your stomach gets sour. When you eat his fruit, when you eat a mango that is green, when you eat something that is not ready to be consumed, that's when you have digestive problems. But when he's ripe, his enzyme, everything you eat in him is healthy for your body, healthy for your life, healthy for your mind, healthy for your vision, your goals, your business. That's why the wand is so important. Let these people keep on lying to you and hiding the truth in plain sight. Tell them just to call it what it is. They hide your truth in plain sight. And because you don't know, oh, now you know. But ask them. Why do y'all got beer? Why does that Madrina has to be here? Ask them. And if they downplay that role, that person don't mean you no good. Because it shouldn't be a problem to tell the truth. There's not one ceremony that I was in that a woman was not involved. And I knew why she was there. Whether they told me or not. I'm just telling y'all black ones that. You were born with the power. The power flows through your veins. And they ain't gonna never access the type of spirits you're gonna be able to access, because that come naturally to you because you're melanin. And when somebody telling them melanin don't matter and color don't matter, you already know the line. Scientifically, it matters. Economically, it matters. When you deal with archaeology, it matters. Reposition the black woman and we'll have balance. As long as you keep trying to put your race of women above her, that's why we got chaos. Get that woman her throne and let her wear her crown. Now, I'm only talking to the ones that are in the ATRs. We get why the other ones fighting them. I'm talking about those ones that are so deeply into these Orishas and Pungos and African sciences. Why would you put your woman above a black woman when you calling on a black woman's power to bring you and your family through? Answer those questions, sir. Answer those questions, man. You got to put things in proper perspective and proper order. I cannot be great not acknowledging my mother. My mother's mother. I cannot be great not acknowledging my father. Paying homage cause your energy to flow. Your spiritual ancestry energy. A lot of y'all feel like because you got personal problems with your family or members of your family, that's your spirit team. That's where your extra arche gonna come from. Stop making bad blood with your bloodline, because you might need some of the arche to help you through some situations and circumstances. That's all I'm saying. This has been a delightful live. I am so thankful for the likes and the gives and the taps and the screens. Melanated people, it's gonna be all right. They want us to believe it's not gonna be all right. They're not in control. We are. And the Bible says, to all y'all don't believe in the Bible says the whole earth is waiting on the manifestations of the sons of God. The sons of God. The S-U-N of God, of Ra. Those are melanated people. That's all the earth waiting on. Her solar plexus, her sun children, to awaken and to enlighten this world. And we're going to raise the frequency where you ain't going to have to be here. These parasites going to leave. And they're going to die. Let me say, I told that to somebody today. I know that's her. The facts stand. If I was you, and if I was a betting man, I would bet on black. I would bet on black. I'm just saying. I ain't telling you what to do. But I'm not even a gambler. But I said if I was a betting man, I would bet on black. If you think you look good with your melanin, what you think I look good? I'm 52 years old. I got pictures of me being a 20-year-old. This right here, no makeup, no filter. Why would I want to be anything else but black? It's delicious. Being black is intoxicating. Creative. The level of rhythm. Huh? My eyes are the windows to my soul. There's depth to my blackness. Miss Whitney! How you doing, sugar? That's my fellow Sagittarius. Yes, sir. Thank God for that woman. I love my black women. Even though some of y'all is a mess. We got to be honest. And everybody's not illuminated. Everybody ain't awoken here. We need to get some of y'all, get y'all head out your anuses. But when you get here, we're going to be all right. If they can help man get to the moon, we can figure this out. It's a piece of cake. We got hidden figures. We already know where the intellect is. And we already know where the creativity is. We gonna be all right. We done built and rebuilt whole civilization. And we'll restore this earth back again to balance. All right. Love y'all. See y'all on tomorrow. It's Monday. I'm retired, so I ain't got nothing but time to educate. Gratitude for your teaching. Much love, baby. We're gonna be all right. We are gonna be all right. And all right, as a church say all right. All right, because it's all gonna work together for our good. The good, the bad, and the indifferent. All right? Peace.